How do you do 1,000,000 takes of a video and still remain hyper and interesting and fun? I can't do it. So I was having some difficulty with my technology and had to get into the content that I was going to present to you at the same time. Now I'm all worn out. And by the way, my name is Candy. No, you see Hakima. I'm known by both names. And I have a bachelor's in communication studies. I have a master's degree in adult education. And I'm here to talk about love. I ran across some papers that I had written at the prompting of a very spiritual sister I know. And as I began to talk to her, and she said, "Wow, you're a love goddess." I'm like, a love goddess? You know, I'm not an overly emotional person, but I do find myself constantly in relationships. I've been practicing love since the 7th grade. And even though my relationships haven't lasted infinitely, on an intimate level, I have come out of all of those experiences with some type of transformational learning. And I'm always going to the next level. I never find myself further back in the spiritual growth span after a relationship. I always find myself ascending to the next level. So I've always considered my relationships good, but just kind of outgrown them. And still friends with many of my exes, and still learn from them. And you know, if I forget who I am, every now and then one will remind me. And it's just been a great spiritual journey through relationships. So I wrote this piece called Relationships for Learning, because that's what relationships have been to me aside from love. They've been a great learning tool. And many times we find ourselves stressed out in relationships instead of taking the time to find out what that relationship is teaching us. We spend all of our time trying to change the other person, which is usually so fruitless. And usually when you're trying to change the other person, it's because you're not trying to change. You know, it's like trying to get your foot, size 12 foot, in a size 8 shoe. And you're mad at the shoe because it's a size 8 and you're a size 12. Well, you can't be mad at that. You just have to do what you have to do. You have to go find your size 12 shoe. And one of the major mistakes is that we just ask of the person something that they can't give. People enter into our lives to teach us different things. And you have to know what that particular relationship is teaching you. You may ask of a person to be more responsible and be upset because you have to do everything in the relationship. When in actuality, that person may be there to teach you to be responsible for yourself, to set boundaries, and not take on the responsibilities of other people. If that's something you've always done and you're not being rewarded for it, then that means that that's not something that you need to continue to do. So I challenge you today to find out what your relationships are trying to teach you. Even if the relationship is not good for you in the long run, you can have peace in the midst of learning and growing and either moving on once the lesson is learned in that relationship, or moving on to another relationship altogether. Stop blaming others for what they're not doing for you, and learn from them what they came to teach you. Every relationship is not made to be fixed. That's just one of the things that I think it's like an automatic that we want to fix something that we think is broken. But it may not be broken. It's just the way it's supposed to be. And you're supposed to find a lesson in that quote-unquote brokenness. And so consider your worst relationships your best teachers. And I know for me, being in relationships so long, when I say I haven't had a break in a relationship, I hadn't had a break. And it wasn't until I met this sister, and she told me, you thrive in relationships. You grow in relationships. And everything that comes to you that's positive comes through relationships, intimately or platonically. Friendships, intimate relationships, partnerships as far as business and things like that. So I thought about it because I had taken this road to solitude, because although all of my studies and things were about relationships, years ago when I first started college, I kind of moved into the metaphysical realm of nothingness, and how, a matrix kind of belief, how what we really see is not really what we're seeing. It's a program. And my frustration in relationships was that I could not get the relationship to match the program. What we see on TV, what we've learned from our grandparents, what we've been taught through religion. And relationships don't follow a script. A relationship answers something deep within you that you can't touch, you can't see. And that relationship comes as a teacher, as a mirror to something very deep inside that's different than anything that you've ever seen or heard or learned in your life. So this is why relationships trigger so many things inside of us and causes us to do so many crazy things, because it's touching the places that nothing or no one can really touch. We're going to talk more about that, the metaphysics of love. Wonderful topic. So embrace your mistakes and your wins and your losses for what they are, because they're going to serve as the soil for you to plant your spirit in for your ascension to the next level. Until next time, reconstruct your mind and reconstruct your world by reconstructing your mind. You can do that. Try it. It works. Peace.